Do you like my jumper? Because I want to share with you why it's so valuable that I learned this morning that I don't need to know whether you do or don't to love it as much as I do. Because this is a new jumper, and as I know my boyfriend off by heart, I knew the moment I put it on he wouldn't like it. And what's interesting is the difference of feeling from a long time ago when I didn't feel confident about myself and feeling confident now and wearing this jumper. So I want to share with you the experience of how you get to know when you've reached a stage of needing only to satisfy and fulfill your own desires and wants in order to feel confident. Now, what's interesting about this is even if you don't feel that, you can gauge like a sense of where you are at on your confidence journey and figuring out from other people's reactions and how that makes you feel about yourself where you might have capacity to do a little bit more development work so that you can get to that place of feeling confident and not needing other people's acknowledgement. And here's how I came to that thinking. So I put on my lovely jumper this morning. I walked down the stairs. I kind of strutted my stuff like I was John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever and sort of presented myself to my boyfriend, knowing he wouldn't like it. And his response was something along the lines of, wow, that's something. And I realised what was so different is that somehow in receiving that feedback, I instantly felt even more confident about my choice in clothing. Now, what's interesting there is before, on receiving that kind of reaction, I probably would have gone back to my room and changed my clothes because before I was always looking for other people to confirm that I was enough, that I was appropriate, that I was sufficient, that I was likable. And so what I wore would need to receive the kind of feedback and response and reaction that confirmed those things. Whereas now, what's really interesting is when my boyfriend expressed that this would not be his favourite jumper of all time on me, I instantly felt better about it because I realised the thing that confirms to me, just in the style alone, is that it's quite a unique and odd and interesting garment of clothing. And those things represent what I feel good about. I feel good about being unique and interesting and odd and slightly different. All those things make me feel good about myself. So on receiving that reaction from my boyfriend, I instantly realised, like, I love it even more. Like, I love this jumper because, I mean, it's not only like Jackie Onassis meets Pee Wee Herman, and it has a kind of like disco ball effect on the wall behind me, but like a human glitter ball at the moment. But I love that the uniqueness of this style and the fact that somebody else I love and whose opinion really does matter to me didn't have any bearing on how I felt about myself. And that's how I knew that I felt confident dressing for me, dressing as myself, dressing in a style that I like, that I value. Now, of course, there's also great value in dressing appropriately for others. So, for example, if you go to a Western, European, American funeral, most of the time you want to turn up wearing black because otherwise you'll feel uncomfortable, you'll feel unconfident with yourself if you're not dressed appropriately for the occasion or for the people or the expectation, if that's what matters to you. You might need to dress a certain way for work, for, certain family occasions, that's fine. But you can take pride in that just as much as you can take pride in wearing some ridiculous garment that nobody else on the planet would like, but you do. So the value is in recognizing how do you feel when you get other people's reactions. Now, if it's not great, if you don't feel great when other people, maybe judge the way you look, the way you talk, the way you, show up, present yourself, that's fine. It just gives you a sense of where you're at on your journey of confidence and what you might need to tweak to feel more confident about yourself. So I just wanted to share, one, I love my jumper. And two, thank you to my boyfriend's mother, whose jumper it actually is, and she gifted it to me because I love it so much. But also I wanted to say, tap into what feels good and what doesn't feel good when you get reactions from people, and what does that tell you about your confidence journey.